So back many, many moons ago, I made a body butter video wherein I did nothing but complain the entire time about how much I hate making body butter. And I said hate like 17 times in the first 33 seconds. And I still do to this day get comments on whether it's funny or annoying that I did nothing but complain through an entire video. And I stand by that because body butter is a pain in the butt to make. That said, we're making it today, I think, for the only second time on the channel that it's ever been done. I'm not 100%, but I would be shocked if I put myself through that more than one time up to this point. But I'm doing it again today for a very good reason, because it's the coffee season and that's what we're exploring. And we're starting the cosmetics in coffee and everything today. And I'll tell you more about it in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And you are here for January's content, which is exploring all things about coffee in our soaps and cosmetics. And so we are doing all kinds of fun things with coffee infusions, with coffee oils, with coffee extracts, with coffee butters. And this week, we'll be focusing on how we can incorporate all of those things that I just mentioned into our cosmetic formulations. Now, just a quick recap on what it is that cosmetics are. Cosmetics are anything else that we make that is not soap. And so we're talking about our bath bombs, our bubble bars, our lotions, our scrubs, our face creams, our hair conditioners, our shampoos, our soaps, if we decide to say that they do anything other than cleanse. Those are all cosmetics. Those are things that we legally cannot say is soap. Falls into the cosmetic categories as far as labeling and all of the rules and laws and everything that we have to follow. So that is what I mean by cosmetics. We are primarily going to be focusing on the skin cosmetics world this week. And by primarily, I mean in totality. That's what we're doing. And we are starting out with a body butter. Why? Because I made a coffee butter, and it's the easiest thing in the world and the most obvious thing to turn this beautiful coffee butter that I made with shea and coffee oil into a body butter. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about it. I'm not going to complain about making body butter, probably. I'll try real hard not to. And so let's get to the video and see if I manage it, and we can talk about all of the awesome benefits that comes from coffee within a leave-on application, because we finally get to do that now. Okay, so I looked it up. I have done body butter twice. Once in year one and once in year two. But year two is just a test. Like, do you need to melt down your shea? Because I, was being asked a whole bunch of questions about why I melt down my shea. And so we did a test. There's a video on that. And yeah, the first video was day 97 of year one. So it took me 97 days until I found out that the internet hates it when you're honest in videos. Just kidding. I know that the internet hates honesty. I've always known that, but I'm always fighting against it. So yeah, no, that video, I talked a lot about how I don't like making body butter because it's a lot of prep work and a lot of cooling down and remembering to get it out of the refrigerator. And then it's a lot of whipping, there's a lot of whipping going on. And so, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt for me. But I'm not going to talk about how much I dislike the body butter. We're going to instead maybe answer some questions from that body butter video, as well as, talk about the benefits of coffee butter in this particular formulation. Now, this particular formulation is up on the Discord. If anybody wants it, it is there. But we are going to be using the coffee butter as well as cocoa butter, which you can see there. And I am putting in a caffeine extract in as well as arrowroot powder. So the arrowroot powder is going to be to help wick away any extra moisture. I am a little bit concerned that the shea butter, because I am using it in such a high percentage, is going to be kind of greasy, and I don't want that. So I'm going to put the arrowroot in, again, just mixed up with my extract that I'll put in at the very end. along with my scent if I decide to put a scent in, and everything after it's all been melted down together, and after the whip, I believe. Question mark? I'm not really sure. I guess we're going to find out. So, in addition to the coffee butter and the cocoa butter, we have apricot oil sitting out there. Apricot oil is delightful. It's a nice lightweight oil to pair with your thicker, your heavy hitters, with your shea butter and your cocoa butter. So it will have a deeper penetration and help essentially pull all of the goodness from the shea butter and the coffee butter deeper into your skin, which is a good thing. We love to see it. Now, so with the coffee butter itself, there are a lot of skin benefits that, while we did talk about in the first video of this coffee series and the deep dive on all things coffee, we haven't really discussed in since then, because we've been making soaps, and soaps rinse off products, etc., and so forth, all of the things that I need to say. But we get to talk about all the benefits of coffee in this one. And so that's awesome. So this coffee butter, topically, obviously caffeine is great. Why is caffeine great? Well, caffeine is great because it's a vasoconstrictor. What does that mean? Well, as far as what it does, like internally, I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, but for the skin, really realistically what that means is that it can help minimize the appearance of pores, it can tighten your skin, and it can help out with conditions like rosacea and eczema and all of the jazz, inflammation type things. Now, the inflammation is going to be the biggest thing that you're going to want to use coffee in your cosmetics for, because inflammation's a wild beast. It has been linked to premature aging. It has been it's not a good thing. Just across the board, premature aging, we don't like it. Now, why is this going to be helpful? Well, all the antioxidants within a coffee, topical treatment are going to be really helpful in as far as eliminating free radicals. So all of the stressors that we have in our life. For more information, check the first video in the coffee series on that. But we want to eliminate all of this we want to eliminate the free radicals, because free radicals can cause inflammation, which can lead to breakdowns of your natural hyaluronic acid, your natural collagen, your natural elastin. And so you want to reduce inflammation as much as possible on as many fronts. And caffeine, as well as the antioxidants in coffee, are great for that. Okay, now on to the whip of this. This was in the fridge, and I get a lot of questions about this on that video to this day. How long do you let it cool? How do you know that it's ready to go, etc., and so forth? And the answer to that is I don't. Half of the time I forget that it's in the damn fridge, which is one of the reasons why I hate making coffee butter so much. Because if it gets too firm, then you have to just let it sit out for a while until you can get the whipper thing from your KitchenAid back into it. And so I guess that's the answer. You let it firm up until it's a semi-solid. So it's still, pliable enough that you can actually get the whipping tool from your mixer into it. And then you start whipping, and you whip real good. And at this point, look at that. I add the fragrance and then the extract and everything I may have already done. I don't remember. But for this particular process, how long do you whip? I get that a lot too. I let it whip until I'm bored. That's 10 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes. I don't know. Obviously, the more you whip it, it is a butter. You're running into two problems. One, for the most part, the longer you let it whip, the lighter and fluffier it's going to become, until two, the butter starts to get overly hot, and then it just starts to get kind of soggy. So it's much like whipping up your frosting and whatever if you're baking a cake. There's really fundamentally no difference. And so if you're familiar with that process, then you should be familiar with this, and it shouldn't be a problem. I do like to take the KitchenAid and scrape everything down a few times throughout the whipping process. But as you can see, I let this get too firm. And so it's kind of a pain in the butt to get this off of the sides of my mixing bowl. And that's not fun for me. But it's probably maybe fun for you. I don't know. You didn't have to do it. I did. It was great. Love body butter so much. And so this particular application, because we are using the 60-40 coffee butter split, so 60% shea, 40% of the coffee oil. This particular coffee oil was also an apricot infusion. because I wanted to get the lightweight oils into this body butter and not use the pumice that I showed you in one of the beginner videos. Because again, this is a leave-on product. I want a really nourishing, moisturizing, beautiful oil to go in all of my leave-on products. And pumice, while it's great in soap making, for me, it does not fit the bill for my cosmetic making. And it can fit the bill for you. That's completely fine. There's more than one way to do this, you know? But for me, I don't like it. So I used apricot with all of this. So that what that means is we have a really heavy hitter as far as the percentage of coffee oil that exists within all of this. And I have had questions on these coffee videos as we've been going through, asking about how long, or how much rather, coffee you should use to, your ratios or whatever, in order to create a really potent coffee, and asking if at some point it's just, it's a waste of product. I would say that it's never a waste of product with coffee. And so kind of the more coffee you add to your oil for infusion or to your water in your lye solution, the better. Within your lye solution, it can, I guess, theoretically get a little weird. Although I put something like 10 ounces of the green coffee into the lye solution that we're going to see next week, and I had zero problems with that bar. So I don't know. Ultimately, I guess what I'm saying is the more of the awesome that you can extract from the coffee, the better. As a rule of thumb, though, I like to go with essentially what you would use when you were making, well, I don't know that that's necessarily true. So I would do around a half of a cup of coffee grounds to 16 ounces of oil. That's pretty much my sweet spot whenever I'm making infusions. Can you go more? Yes. Have I gone more? Yes. Is it awesome? Also, yes. But in trying to figure out a responsible ROI and not spend, $12 on the coffee that you put into 1 pound of your oils or your butters or whatever, I would say half of a cup of your coffee grounds to 16 ounces of oil is a real fine place to start. Now, with all of this is the packaging and all of the measuring and all of this. And honestly, I kind of feel like within this ratio, I would prefer more of an oil within all of this. So between the coffee butter and the cocoa butter and all of this, it's a very thick product. And while that's great, it's awesome. It's especially awesome for a summer product that you are sending out, because the firmer it is, the more stable it's going to be in shipping. So the less likely it is that that's going to melt. That's great. Awesome. I love that. But for the middle of winter when it's cold and it's usually cooler in houses, I guess. I don't know how people run their thermostats, so I really can't speak to that, I suppose. It's a better idea, I think, to have a lighter weight, easier to melt down, less thick version of this, because you want to be able to dip your fingers into that and scoop out a little bit. Now, you can do that with this, but I don't know, just that it's a little bit too firm for me. If you like a firm body butter, do your thing. That's delightful. I love that for you. For me, I would like it to be more lightweight. But these are the coffee butters and all of the beautiful benefits that are going to come from your coffee butter you're going to find in this leave-on product. And like I said, it's easy to see, has a really nice texture. It spreads out very beautifully. A little goes a very long way. It hydrates, it penetrates, it feels delightful. Yes, it does smell like coffee, but also coffee and chocolate because the cocoa butter. So it's a pretty lovely scent overall. And yeah, it's a wonderful, awesome product for people who love making body butter. And that may be you. So you should do that. And again, if you're in the Discord, you can grab the recipe, but I didn't give it here because I was lazy. Let's go back to my face. So put a cup of coffee in the comments below if you heard me complain about, the body butter and making it at least once. Yeah, so I think that's a really great product. Obviously, this is going to be a slam dunk for a leave-on product, for something like a body butter. It has great label appeal, saying it's a coffee butter. Just right off the bat, people are going to be interested because we know all the beautiful benefits of coffee, of caffeine, of all of the antioxidants and everything that exists within the coffee that we are extracting through this process from the coffee bean. People are going to be into that. The tightening, the toning, the brightening, all of this stuff. It's going to be a really good thing for label appeal. but genuinely, it's also going to be really good for the skin. This particular recipe, I find to be a little thick. And so because I did that coffee butter with the 60-40 split, the shea to the coffee oil, probably what I would do in future batches would be to decrease that shea coffee butter amount just a little bit and include another liquid oil. So I'm thinking an avocado, an apricot, a hemp, all beautiful things that would really up the awesomeness and all the skin benefits that you would get from a coffee butter, to really make this product super awesome. Just my thoughts on it. It's completely fine as is. It is a little bit thick, but it's a body butter. It's not meant to be, a thing that you can squeeze out of a container. So if you like it thick, it's cool too. No greasiness with all of it. Really delightful, wicking away of the moisture for sure. The extracts are obviously a cool thing. We will be talking more about extracts and getting them clear and how I think that's done this week. So definitely subscribe, like, notifications, all the things, so you know when I drop those and you can get more information about the extracts. But for now, this was the coffee body butter. What do you think? Do you love it? Are you going to make it? Have you made it? Comment below. I'd really like to hear from you. I hope you guys are having an excellent Monday. I'm having a great day. Sudsers, thank you so much for existing. Membered Sudsers, you guys are amazing. You are all of the things. Thank you. Hope you had a good weekend. I am getting stuff ready for a surprise thing that won't be a surprise for much longer because I'll announce it probably on Thursday that we're going to be doing this upcoming weekend. So I am going to scoop because I have to get stuff done for my membered Sudsers that I love so much. And so I'm going to go do that. Thank you for being here and being with me for today, which is not soapy fun, but it was definitely fun. And I'll see you tomorrow for another round of not soapy, but all things cosmetic and coffee fun. Bye.